Good morning and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here this morning with Tootsie and Rich, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is Tootsie's ability to understand and respond to her formal on-leash obedience commands, the correction and the motivation that we give the puppies when we're working with them, and the training equipment that we're using. Rich is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he keeps the bulk of the leash folded in his right hand. That leaves the left hand free to give any correction that's needed, and the only correction that we ever use here at school is a tug and release on the training collar, and that is the second piece of equipment that we're using. Tootsie's going to come home with her very own training equipment, and you're going to be taught how to use that properly during your follow-up training session with Amanda tomorrow. Now, Tootsie's sitting very nicely at Rich's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done. And the first exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is heeling. Heeling is proper leash walking, and the command is Tootsie, heel. Now, at this point, Tootsie has a job to do, and that is to stay even with your left leg when you're walking with her. No more dragging you down the street like the strong little girl that she is, but focusing on your left leg. And when you stop, she's been taught to sit automatically to wait for her next command. So when you're walking her and you stop to cross traffic or talk to a neighbor, she should be sitting nicely at your left and waiting for her next command. And the next command that we're going to demonstrate is the sit stay. The stay is a hand and a voice command, and you do not use her name. The long sit stay is a progressive thing. You're going to practice at home, starting out at about 20 seconds and working all the way up to 3 minutes. When Rich returns back to her, he walks all the way around her as an additional distraction, and they end up right back where they started at heel position. So everything starts and stops at heel position. And Amanda's going to be teaching you tomorrow how to use these commands in your everyday living situations with her, especially with the foot thing. Rich is going to leave her in another sit stay. And this time, instead of returning all the way back to her, we're going to demonstrate the come on command. You do use her name, you use a happy voice, and she's to come right in front and sit, not jump on you. And then she goes back to heel and back sitting, and look at her trying to be a good girl. That is awesome. Bulldogs were not bred to do obedience. They are a little hard-headed and stubborn. They have a mind of their own. And you can imagine that they were originally used to bait bulls, so they're pretty tough. Rich is leaving her again in another sit stay. This helps to develop her self-control and maturity. Calls her in, praises her on the way in. As soon as she gets in, he tells her sit, and she did it. Very nice. And you can see that eye contact that she's making with Rich, and she's trying to be good, looking up at his face, gauging what he wants her to do next. So all of those things are huge improvements for her. Now the next command we're going to demonstrate is the down from a heel position. So with your dog seated at your left, you take your left open palm, push it straight down toward the ground, and give the one-word command to down. And if you're going to leave her, you have to tell her to stay. The down stay is something that I strongly recommend that you practice in the house. You practice these commands everywhere. Now she got up on that down, so Rich goes back and makes her complete the exercise the way it was taught. When he returns back to her, he walks all the way around her, returning all the way back to heel, just as he did on the sit stay, and then she gets praised for a good job. But don't let her get sloppy. Make her complete these commands. Watch your video and practice along with your video. That's why we do them. Always have your dog seated before you attempt to put her into a down. Left open palm, firm voice, down and stay. And again, we're developing her self-control. It's like kindergarten. You have to sit still for the first time. And this time Rich calls her out of that command. That was very nice. She got right up and came in. and then goes back to heel and back sitting. Whoops. And the last command that we're going to demonstrate with Cookie is you're down from a distance. This is a harder command because you're not right next to the dog. She's getting tired. That's one thing about bulldogs, they tire out quickly. He leaves her in a sit stay and he turns to face her. He's going to use his right hand to give the command. And she, you can tell she knows it. And don't give up. When she's being a hard-headed bulldog, you have to make sure that she completes her exercises. Now, we've demonstrated for you your heeling, your automatic sits, your sit stay, your down from a heel, your down from a distance, and your come commands. These are the commands that we want you to practice with her when she comes home so that she knows that things have changed around the house and you have more structure and control of her. She's been a pleasure to have. We love mushy faces, and thank you for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company.